Captain Eli Harper stepped off the shuttle and sighed as he looked at the sprawling colony of Viridian. The planet was beautiful in its own way, green hills stretching to purple skies, but it was remote, lonely, and after months of missions in deep space, Harper felt the weight of solitude pressing on him. His home, a sleek two-story residence powered by the latest human technology, awaited him. Or at least that's what he thought. Inside, the AI system that managed his house blinked erratically. Lights flickered, a robotic vacuum started spinning in circles, and a message on the holoscreen read, "System malfunction. Household assistance required." Harper groaned. He wasn't one for domestic chores, and apparently, his AI had finally given up on trying to keep the house in order. Just then, a soft chime echoed through the room, followed by a polite voice speaking in a melody unfamiliar to human ears. "Captain Harper, I am Lyra. Your temporary household assistant has arrived." Harper turned sharply. From the doorway floated a small creature. She was no taller than a human child, her body glowing with a soft golden light, and she had 6 delicate arms that waved gracefully as if dancing to music no one else could hear. Her eyes were large and curious, shimmering like molten silver. Harper's mouth went dry. He had expected a humanoid assistant, maybe a drone, but not this. "This alien, temporary?" Harper asked cautiously. "Yes, sir," Lyra replied, bowing slightly. "Colonial administration requested I assist you until your household systems are repaired." Her tone was polite but somehow full of cheerful energy. She tilted her head, observing Harper's tense posture. "I hope you will allow me to help." Harper rubbed his face. "Fine, just don't break anything." Lyra's small hands flew to her chest. "Oh, I would never, Learn quickly. May I begin?" "Sure," Harper muttered, stepping back. The first hour was chaotic. Lyra's attempts to clean the kitchen resulted in flour floating in slow arcs across the room. Her multiple arms made folding laundry look like a dance performance gone wrong. Harper found himself dodging flying utensils and tripping over vacuum drones as Lyra zipped through the house like a tiny whirlwind. "Lyra," Harper said, exasperated, "I didn't need a tornado. I need clean floors and folded laundry." Lyra tilted her head, her glowing eyes wide. "I am creating efficiency through enjoyment, Captain. Cleaning should be fun." Harper shook his head, fighting a laugh despite himself. The little alien's energy was infectious. He had spent so long alone that he had almost forgotten what it felt like to smile without reason. By evening, the house was mostly in order, though Harper's prized library still looked like a war zone. Books were stacked in haphazard piles, some open, some upside down. Lyra floated over to the largest pile, her 6 hands working in a blur. "Books are fascinating," she said. "Humans store so much information in these objects. Can we do it once more tonight, please?" Harper blinked. "Do what again?" "Organize the books. Discuss stories. Teach me human literature." Her voice was soft, pleading almost, but full of excitement. Harper paused. He had been about to tell her no, he was tired, but he couldn't resist the eager expression on her face. "All right," he said finally. "But just an hour." Lyra's glow brightened in what Harper interpreted as joy. "1 hour is perfect, Captain." "Thank you." As they sat on the floor surrounded by towering stacks of novels and history books, Harper found himself explaining the basics of human storytelling. He told her about the adventures of explorers, the clever tricks of scientists, and the bravery of soldiers. Lyra listened intently, sometimes repeating phrases awkwardly, her accent making her sound charmingly clumsy. "When humans do this," she said, holding up a story about space exploration, "they take risks. Why?" "Because it's who we are," Harper replied. "Humans are curious. We want to understand the unknown. Even if it's dangerous, we try." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "Fascinating. I admire humans. Your courage and creativity. Can we do it once more tonight, please?" Harper laughed. He realized she wasn't just asking to read books. She was asking for connection, for someone to share ideas with her, to teach her, and to allow her to be herself. Over the next few nights, this became their routine. Harper explained human inventions, philosophy, and even humor. Lyra tried to mimic human laughter, sometimes producing odd musical notes instead of the expected chuckle, which made Harper laugh harder than he had in months. She loved everything from cooking to math, though she approached each with a childlike wonder that reminded Harper how amazing the universe could be. But the fun wasn't without mishaps. One night, Lyra attempted to bake a simple pie. 6 arms working together caused flour to cover the ceiling and walls. Sugar flew across the room like tiny sparkling comets. Harper tried to catch falling ingredients but ended up slipping on dough, sliding across the kitchen floor. Lyra floated above, glowing brighter than ever, squealing, "Fun! Fun! Fun!" Harper sat on the floor, sticky and tired, but he couldn't help grinning. "I can't believe I let you do this again," he muttered, shaking his head. "But you said yes," Lyra replied, perfectly calm. "And it is fun for both of us." In those quiet moments, Harper began to realize something important. Lyra's presence wasn't just for chores or tidying a messy home. It was a bridge between human and alien worlds. She was fascinated by humanity, and through her eyes, Harper could see the beauty in things he had once taken for granted. Human creativity, curiosity, and humor shone brighter when reflected in her admiration. One evening, after organizing the last of the books, Lyra floated to Harper and whispered, "Captain, can we do it once more tonight, please?" Harper laughed softly, shaking his head. "All right, Lyra, one more." They spent the night talking, sharing stories, and laughing. Harper realized he hadn't felt this alive in months. A small alien from a distant world had reminded him of something vital. Even in solitude, humans could inspire others, teach others, and bring joy simply by being themselves. As dawn approached, Lyra curled into a glowing ball on the sofa, exhausted but happy. Harper watched her, a warm feeling in his chest. For the first time in a long while, he felt hopeful, not just for himself, but for the colony, for humanity, and for the strange, wonderful connections that awaited in the vast universe. "Tomorrow," Lyra murmured as she drifted into sleep. "Can we do it once more?" Harper smiled, knowing the answer would always be yes. Because in teaching, sharing, and simply being human, he had found something extraordinary. A friend who saw the best of humanity and reminded him to see it himself. The days on Viridian had grown brighter and warmer for Captain Eli Harper. With Lyra's presence, the house was never quiet, and even mundane tasks became a source of laughter and curiosity. The small alien maid's fascination with humanity seemed endless. Harper often found himself smiling, teaching her new skills, and watching as she tried to mimic human habits in her own unique way. One morning, as Harper prepared for his usual security rounds around the colony, Lyra floated toward him, her glow unusually bright. "Captain Harper, today is excellent for learning outdoor survival techniques," she said eagerly. "May we do it once more today, please?" Harper chuckled. "All right, Lyra, but don't touch anything dangerous, understood?" "Understood, Captain." The two of them ventured into the nearby hills, a stretch of Viridian's rugged terrain filled with strange, colorful flora and occasionally aggressive wildlife. Lyra's multiple limbs allowed her to climb, leap, and navigate rocky terrain effortlessly, much faster than Harper. She was like a living, glowing gymnast, and Harper couldn't help but feel impressed and slightly outmatched. They were midway through their training when the alarm sirens blared across the colony. A booming voice came over the speakers. "Alert! Unknown hostile life forms approaching the settlement. All personnel take defensive positions." Harper's heart sank. "Lyra, get back to the house now." "No, Captain," she replied, her tone calm but determined. "I can help." "You need me." Harper stared at her. Lyra had never faced danger before, at least not in his presence. Yet her eyes, glowing brightly, showed no fear. She floated ahead, moving faster than Harper could run. By the time they reached the colony, the scene was chaotic. Large insect-like creatures had descended from the hills, their segmented bodies glistening under Viridian's sun. Colony defense drones fired energy pulses, but the creatures seemed too fast, dodging with alarming agility. Civilians scrambled, hiding behind buildings, while Harper took command, barking orders to organize a defensive perimeter. Lyra didn't hesitate. She zipped between drones, assessing the creatures' movement patterns. Her glowing limbs emitted pulses of light, scanning the attackers' weak points. Harper noticed her eyes flickering, as if analyzing multiple layers of information simultaneously. "Captain Harper," she called. "Their legs are strong, but their heads are vulnerable. Aim for their sensory nodes. This will disorient them." Harper blinked. You can see that?" "Yes." Humans are brilliant strategists, and I have learned your methods. Allow me to assist. The next half hour was a blur of motion. Harper coordinated the human defenders while Lyra darted among the creatures, distracting them and leading them into traps. She used her alien agility and intelligence to neutralize threats with precision that humans could not match. Harper, who had always prided himself on human ingenuity, was awestruck. Lyra, you're incredible. She paused for a moment, catching her breath. I am learning from the best, Captain. With combined human and Xylar efforts, the colony gradually gained the upper hand. Drones and automated defenses finally overwhelmed the attackers. The creatures retreated into the hills, leaving behind scorched earth and damaged buildings, but no casualties. As calm returned, Harper leaned against a wall, wiping sweat from his forehead. I never expected an alien maid to save an entire colony, he said, shaking his head. Lyra floated beside him, her glow dimming as she spoke softly. I did not save the colony alone. Humans are resourceful and courageous. You inspired me to act, Captain. I am honored to fight alongside you. Harper felt a rush of pride. Humanity had survived, and not because of advanced technology alone. It was because of courage, teamwork, and determination. Lyra's admiration made him realize just how remarkable human resilience could appear to outsiders. That night, after the emergency crews repaired the colony's communications and defense systems, Harper returned home exhausted. Lyra followed him, glowing softly in the dim light. Captain, can we do it once more tonight, please? She asked, her tone gentle. Harper paused, expecting her to refer to books or games. No, Lyra. Tonight I think we need recovery training. We need to practice strategies for tomorrow, just in case. Lyra's eyes brightened. Excellent. I enjoy learning from experience. They spent the night running simulations of defensive strategies. Lyra floated above, issuing commands to drones and predicting the creature's moves. Harper realized she had a talent for leadership, something he hadn't anticipated from a household assistant. After hours of training, Harper and Lyra sat down, both weary but satisfied. You know, Harper said, leaning back, you didn't just help save the colony tonight. You taught me something too. Lyra tilted her head. Oh, what is it, Captain? Humans, we're resilient. Even in danger, we keep going. And we're capable of learning from anyone, even from aliens. Lyra's glow pulsed warmly. Then it is settled. Humans inspire me, and I hope I inspire humans as well. The next morning, Harper noticed a change in the colony. People were more confident, more willing to experiment with new ideas. He realized Lyra's presence had done more than just help him at home. It had become a symbol of cooperation, courage, and learning. Even those who had been skeptical of aliens now watched her with admiration. Lyra, always curious, explored the colony's technology. She marveled at the human-made energy shields, communication arrays, and drones. Harper showed her how they worked, explaining both the science and the creative problem-solving behind each design. She absorbed everything eagerly, asking questions that made Harper rethink even the most basic human inventions. Captain Harper, she said one evening as the sun dipped behind the hills, humans are truly remarkable. Your species creates, adapts, and overcomes obstacles. I am lucky to learn from you, Harper smiled, touched. And I'm lucky to have you around, Lyra. You've reminded me what it feels like to truly connect with someone, to teach and to be taught. Lyra's glowing body shimmered with happiness. Captain, may we do it once more tonight, please? Harper laughed softly. Of course, Lyra, one more. They spent the night analyzing battle strategies, not out of necessity, but out of fascination. Harper discovered that teaching and learning together could be just as exhilarating as fighting side by side. Lyra's perspective challenged his assumptions and expanded his understanding, not just of tactics, but of humanity itself. By the end of the week, Harper reflected on the events. The attack had tested their courage, their ingenuity, and their trust in each other. Humanity had survived not merely through technology, but through teamwork, quick thinking, and resilience, all qualities that impressed Lyra deeply. For Lyra, every night with Harper was a chance to understand humans better. She wasn't just following orders. She was learning about culture, bravery, humor, and ingenuity. Her admiration for humanity grew not blindly, but through experience, observation, and shared challenges. One evening, As the colony celebrated its recovery with lights, music, and storytelling, Lyra floated beside Harper.
"Captain," she said softly, "can we do it once more tonight, please?"
Harper chuckled, shaking his head. Always, Lyra. Always. And so, the bond between human and alien grew stronger, built on respect, admiration, and shared experience. Harper realized that humans were remarkable not just for their technology, but for their courage, creativity, and ability to inspire others, even beings from distant worlds. Lyra's presence reminded him of the HFY truth. Humanity's spirit could shine across the galaxy, leaving even aliens in awe. The colony of Viridian had slowly returned to normal. Buildings were repaired, crops replanted, and drones repaired. But something had changed, not just in the colony, but in Captain Eli Harper himself. For months he had lived alone, focused on missions, routines, and responsibilities. Then Lyra arrived, an alien maid with 6 arms, glowing softly and endlessly curious. She had changed the rhythm of his life, not just with her energy, but with her admiration and unique perspective on humanity. One morning, Harper woke to find Lyra floating by the window, eyes bright. "Captain," she said, almost bouncing in the air, "today is perfect for learning about human art and entertainment. Can we do it once more today, please?" Harper laughed softly. "All right, Lyra, one more day of learning. But I hope it won't get messy." Lyra tilted her head as if puzzled by his concern. "Mess is part of discovery, Captain. Creativity often comes with a little chaos." They began the day in the colony's central hall. Harper had gathered books, musical instruments, and even holographic art tools. He explained to Lyra how humans express themselves through painting, music, and dance. Lyra watched with fascination, attempting to imitate a human guitar chord using her multiple hands. The sound was strange, even beautiful, and Harper couldn't help but clap in delight. "You are quite talented, Lyra," Harper said. "Even if it doesn't sound exactly like humans, it's creative." Lyra's glow brightened. "Creativity is expression, Captain. Expression is understanding. Humans are inspiring, and I wish to understand as much as I can." By afternoon, more colonists had gathered. They watched with amusement as Harper and Lyra experimented with human instruments, Lyra's glowing hands creating patterns in the air as she played. Harper began to realize how inspiring this little alien had become, not just to him but to the entire colony. Children gathered, laughing and trying to mimic Lyra's movements. Even the older colonists, initially skeptical of alien interaction, smiled at the cheerful chaos. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, Harper and Lyra prepared a small stage in the central square. Lyra floated above, arranging lights and holograms to accompany human music. The colonists gathered around, curious, excited, and a little cautious. Harper took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility but also the thrill of possibility. "Tonight," Harper announced, "we celebrate survival, cooperation, and discovery. We survived danger, we learned from each other, and now we share our stories and creativity." Lyra hovered beside him, glowing brightly. "Captain, may we do it once more tonight, please?" she asked, a sparkle of excitement in her eyes. Harper laughed, shaking his head. "Of course, Lyra, one more time." The evening became a celebration unlike anything Viridian had seen. Lyra demonstrated alien art forms, patterns of light, floating shapes, and music generated by her glowing limbs. Humans joined in, showing instruments, paintings, and dances. Even the children tried to copy Lyra's movements, their laughter echoing through the colony. Harper watched, feeling a deep sense of pride. This was humanity at its best, creative, adaptable, and courageous. They had faced danger, recovered, and now celebrated together with aliens as friends. Lyra floated near him, her glow dimming softly as she spoke. "Captain, humans are amazing. You create, you fight, you learn, and you inspire. I am honored to be here," Harper smiled. "And I'm honored to have you, Lyra. You've reminded me what it means to connect, to teach, and to be inspired in return." As the night wore on, the celebrations continued with stories. Colonists shared tales of past adventures, human heroes, and discoveries. Lyra listened intently, sometimes adding her perspective from the Xylar culture. Her interpretations of human actions were often unexpected and amusing, causing laughter among the listeners. One story described a human explorer navigating a deadly desert planet. Lyra tilted her head, glowing softly. Humans are persistent. Even when danger surrounds you, you adapt and survive. That is admirable, Harper nodded. That's who we are. Even when things seem impossible, we try and we find a way. It's in our nature. Lyra floated closer, glowing brighter. Then may we do it once more tonight, please? She asked, smiling. Harper laughed. Yes, Lyra. One more story, one more lesson, one more night of discovery. The celebration continued, a mixture of human creativity and Xylar ingenuity. Lyra's ability to create patterns of light and music fascinated the colonists, while Harper's guidance ensured everyone could participate. For the first time, humans and an alien species shared experiences without barriers, without fear, without judgment, only curiosity and respect. By the time the twin moons of Viridian hung high in the sky, the colony square was quiet. Harper and Lyra floated above the remnants of the celebration, surveying the scene. Children were asleep in small tents. Adults were resting, and the colony was safe once more. Lyra hovered near Harper, her glow soft and warm. Captain, today has been extraordinary. Humans are remarkable. I am grateful to learn from you and your species. Harper looked at her, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. And I am grateful for you, Lyra. You've shown me that even the smallest beings can inspire greatness. Humans may be clever, but having someone to share it with, that's what makes it truly special. Lyra tilted her head, glowing even brighter. Then, may we do it once more tomorrow, please? Harper laughed. Yes, Lyra, we will. Because there is always more to learn, more to explore, and more to share. In that moment, Harper realized something profound. Humanity's strength was not just in technology or strategy. It was in curiosity, creativity, and the ability to inspire others, even beings from distant worlds. Lyra had come to admire humans, but in return she had taught him patience, joy, and the importance of connection. The bond between them was more than master and assistant. It was a bridge between worlds, a symbol of what could be achieved when humans and aliens worked together, shared knowledge, and respected one another. As Viridian's twin moons cast their soft light over the colony, Harper felt a swell of pride. Not for himself, not for his accomplishments, but for humanity. They had survived danger, they had grown, and they had inspired an alien species to see their value, not through domination or conquest, but through courage, creativity, and kindness. Lyra floated close, her glowing form casting patterns on the walls of Harper's home. Captain, may we do it once more tonight, please? Harper smiled, shaking his head. Always, Lyra. Always. And so, the nights continued. Not with fear, not with conflict, but with learning, sharing, and friendship. Humanity had faced the galaxy's dangers, and in doing so had shown that even across the stars, humans could inspire, teach, and bring joy. Through laughter, stories, and glowing patterns of alien light, Harper and Lyra forged a friendship that symbolized the very best of humanity. One night at a time, they discovered that humans were extraordinary not just for what they could do, but for what they could teach and inspire in others. The colony slept peacefully under Viridian's twin moons, but Harper knew this was only the beginning. With Lyra by his side, there were endless possibilities, endless nights of learning, laughter, and discovery, and as she whispered softly, glowing in the dim light, Harper answered once more, Yes, Lyra, one more night. Always one more.